Hello, Tallinn Black Nights Film Festival returns with our most precious first feature competition. This is not happening, and Artur Wyrzykowski together with us, and I dare to say that this is not happening is our probably most radical film in competition, which will change viewers who come to a cinema and who go out from a cinema.
Well, thank you for saying this, because it's I think the greatest thing that a writer-director can hear about his film. So yes, I hope it's true. I hope that's exactly what's going to happen to the audience.
But let's maybe it's a film which is set in one place,
Yes.
one apartment. How hard is to film everything in one apartment?
The filming itself wasn't that hard, because we had a great partners that allow us to build the whole apartment in a studio. So we were able to do whatever we want to make as much space as we needed. We even had planned extra free shooting days 1 month after the main shooting, so we were able to cut, to consult this cut, and then go back to reshoot some things, to add new ideas or fix problems that we had on the main part of shooting. So the extra shooting that was planned, thanks to my co-producers. So the most difficult part for me was working on a script, constructing the characters, preparing to the shooting, because the whole film is focused only on 3 characters. It's in the real time. We see 2 hours, approximately 2 hours of their lives. So I think it was the main task, the most difficult task for me was to plot these conflicts, their arcs, to create a believable reactions of this unusual situation that they are put in.
And you mentioned real time. This means that editor had to work really hard to have this energy, atmosphere, and mood of the film is changes.
Yes, my editor Sandra Ksepka was a huge help, and her input was also very big. One of her first decisions was to cut these moments when we see characters leaving from one room and going to another. So we have some small synthesis. So we think that it's 2 hours of their lives, but the film lasts 75 minutes, so it's a bit squeezed. But we were shooting it was true life, it was true real time. So my editor decided that we need to cut a bit to speed up, because it was too difficult to gain audience focus, to gain audience attention, if we had it so. If we didn't cut out all the moments when the characters just walking around and go to one room from to another. So yes, that was her main one of her first decisions. But of course, she helped me a lot. We had many long discussions whether to put some scenes in a different order. Of course, it was not easy to do, because the film takes place at the end of the day. So it starts when the sun is bright, but then the clouds come, and then in the middle is a sunset, and then the characters are moving in a dark apartment with no light. So there was not many possibilities to change the scenes because of the lightning. But she helped me a lot during the month between the shooting periods. This is the moment when we actually could cut, see what we have, and talk how to make it better, how to improve that, what to change, what to cut out. Cutting out was also a difficult part because if we decided to cut out a scene, we had to change the scenes that were previous and after that because of the information distribution. So it was shooting, I think, was the easiest part for me because we were so well prepared that we had so big support of the partners. Writing and editing was the most difficult.
And you mentioned about lighting. We have seen here Polish films which take place in apartment, and I know what they rented apartment, real apartment. You say you built an apartment, which leads us. But lighting of the film was extremely challenging, right? To change daylight.
Yes, but it was also possible because we had this apartment built in a studio. If we decide to shoot it on a real location, in a real apartment, I think it wouldn't be possible to do with the light what we planned to, what we've in fact done, because we would have to build some kind of a studio around this apartment to cut off the sunlight completely. In our studio, we were free to do whatever we want. Of course, it required a lot of lamps, especially the first parts of the film, a lot of lighting technicians, and the pre-light, just constructing the light, took us 2 days before the shooting. So it was a big task for my DOP Ernest Wilczyński, for his department, but I'm happy that we were able to achieve everything we planned in that matter, in lighting matter.
This year in First Feature competition, it's quite exceptional. But in films we have big stars, superstars, even with debutants. Dar Salim, to mention one from Denmark. But you have Polish superstar Tomasz Szuchard. And only this year he has 4 or 5 films with big directors as Wojtek Smarzowski, who won here 2 awards in Tallinn with Wedding 2. But at which point you convinced Tomasz to act in your film, and you are debutant?
So Tomek Szuchard is, as you said, one of the most popular and most talented actors in Poland, but I think it's worth mentioning that Paulina Gałązka, who plays also the lead role, is also a well-known and talented actress in Poland. Tomek is a great partner. He was extremely engaged and helpful to me, and he gave his heart to this project. I approached him when I had the treatment before the first draft, and I just called him and I told him that I have a story to share and I would like to pitch it to him. So at first I didn't send him anything. We met. I told him what the story is, what I would like it to be, because it was still the beginning. And and he said that he liked it. Then I sent it first draft. He decided that he want to take part in it. So and he was helping me with his comments. Paulina as well. They were giving me a lot of valuable comments, because that kind of film focus on characters. I need that writing process needs to be close to actors who are going to play those characters. So Tomek was a great partner for me, and not only for me, but also for the teenage boy who is the third character in that story. He was some kind of his mentor, or a person that the boy could talk to or look up to, and he even convinced me that this was the right boy, because I had someone else in mind. And Tomek told me, let's do another meeting, let's cast these two, and he wanted to spend his time to come to another audition with those two boys. And after a few hours of that casting, I knew what Tomek already knew before that this boy that he recommended, that the boy that we have on screen, was much better to that character, was a better fit. So I'm very thankful to him and to Paulina for helping me all the way. Also during the editing, Tomek came a few times to the editing room and shared his thoughts. So although he is very busy, he is a great partner for directors, for first-time directors like me, and I felt very safe with him. And the best I really liked when we were like little arguments on the set, but they were not in fact arguments. It's like we have a scene, a text of the scene, and Tomek says to me that there are some lines that he will not say because there are just not good lines. And I said, why? We were rehearsals. We had rehearsals. We were working with this for so many times. You were reading that, and he says, no, it's not a good line. I'm not telling this. And I said, okay, let's try it your way. And every time when we tried it, I knew that he was right because he has much more experience than I had. So I owe him a lot, and I owe Paulina a lot as well. In that kind of story, focus on three characters, I think working closely with actors is essential. And if this film has any value for the audience, I think it's also because of their input to directing part, I would say.
Yeah, the boy you mentioned, Boris Otava, he's not debutant, but in his young career, it's probably its first big role for him. And I'm surprised to hear the story that Tomasz even influenced casting.
Yes, Boris is a rapper. He is. If he's not famous yet in Poland, I'm sure he will be one day. He's released many singles and even 2 or 3 long plays, and he has more and more people that are following him on social media. So he is his main career, I think, is music, not acting. But he played in several films already, and this is his biggest role. And Paulina knew him from some daily TV series, and she worked with him, so she recommended him as well. And Tomek, when they were trying together on casting, when we were rehearsing together, Tomek saw something that at first I didn't see, but later I saw it too. That Boris is he, in my opinion, he's this ability of combining this psychopathic way of acting with being fragile and not harmful at all. So I think it's exactly what we needed. Apart from being able to play well, to being truth on the screen, this combination of being a bit psychotic and being innocent and fragile, and I think Boris has that in himself.
Artur, I know that you have a blog for, where you discuss Polish films. I listened a few podcasts with you earlier, and I assume that you probably watched some films to inspire you. But this I really curious to ask if you show it to Boris Lynn Ramsey film. We need to talk about Kevin.
Yes, that was one of my reference films, and it's a great story. But I saw it 2 or 3 times. But in that story, we know from the beginning that the boy is the son of the devil. Is because how he looks, even as a little child, and because how he acts. And in that case, I wanted something opposite. I wanted to present a boy who seems innocent, who we believe is worth saving. And when to talk about Kevin, is the story about mother who tries to realize is she made a mistake, what really happened, why it ended like it did. In my story, it's about father who believes that he is able to start anew, that he is able to be a good father to that boy, and be present like he wasn't, and focus on his son, and that everything is going to be okay if they just move and start anew, and he needs to see the truth in his son. So it's a story about letting go the fantasies, the fantasy that the father has. So at the beginning, we see the boy that is innocent, that he maybe was unable to hurt someone, or even if he did, he's some way justified. He was forced to, maybe. That's what the father believes. That's what I hope audience will believe. And the father see that maybe along the story that maybe it's a mask, maybe the truth is not so convenient, maybe it's more complicated than that. So it was a great film when we talk about Kevin, but not exactly a close reference to this one. Much closer, I would say, is Adolescence, the Netflix series, but I saw it when we were in the editing room. So
it was released even much later.
Yes, I think it's too close reference. So many times I had to explain myself that it's not a copy, that I had this idea many years ago, and it's just unpleasant coincidence for me that the series came out in the same year that my story.
Yeah, in this room we never tried to talk and explain what is happening in the film, but in your film, especially intensity you build through phone conversations and voices behind apartment.
Yes.
With characters whom we don't see but only hear. And this is probably the best reference is Gustav Mahler's film The Guilty.
Yes, it's great. Another great film that I saw 2 times. Also my reference, but another similar film was Locke. Locke, the film with Tom Hardy, who is driving the whole story and calls different people. So yes, well, in fact, I had many reference films that are focused on one place, one apartment, and happens between 2, 3, or 4 people, like Death and the Maiden, I think, Roman Polanski film, or The Carnage, or the Buried, or well, I had like 15 or 20 such films that I were watching and analyzing. Yes, so I tried to do something that is engaging. I knew that although we lock those characters in one apartment, we need to know that there is some other world outside. We need to let that world in, and the phone calls are the way that the outside world enters their lives and this apartment. So yes, I hope it works, as you said, that it's intense, and because it's a thriller. My main idea was to make a psychological thriller. So on one hand, there's police, and there is pressure of time, and characters are forced to make decisions quick, and they don't have time to rest or to think. But on the same time, it's about their reactions. So my character, even that he's in a hurry, he stops sometimes, and he wants to think, and he wants to analyze this situation, or focus on his fiancée, or on his son. So that was the main idea, to look for characters' reactions in this thriller or crime moment, I would say, to focus on how they feel, on their inability to make the right decisions, on especially in main character case, on his fragile masculinity, because he starts as a strong, confident man, and then the whole world collapses in on him, and he's just at some point he's lost. He doesn't know what to do. So I think this is the most interesting, or it was the most interesting for me, to portray a character who is strong, but then he realizes that it's not so easy as he thought, that maybe it's too much for him, that he cannot control it all. So in other stories that you mentioned that are happened in two or three between two or three characters locked in one apartment, of course there is this inner arc, but I think the plot is more important in Lock or in Guilty. Here I think the most important is not what the father will do, but how he feels, how he reacts. Will he understand? Will he face the truth? I think that this is the most important question for me. So that's why a psychological thriller.
Thank you, Artur. Dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję. Thank you.
And I wish to mention, to trigger viewers and listeners, that This Is Not Happening is extremely unpredictable film. You will not learn what is happening until last minute of the film.
Great. Thank you.